Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video here on my channel. Now we all know that there are billions of brands out there, and let's be honest, a lot of them only release bullshit. So that's why in today's video I'm gonna put you on 8 of my favorite brands right now. I think we have like 5 actual clothing brands, then there's 1 footwear brand and 2 jewelry brands. I think that makes 8. And if you're new on this channel, my name is Ned. Let's get into the video. Alright, starting off with the first brand, we got 5MC2. And to be honest, at first glance, this brand really looks like your average brand. Like there's a lot of just like logo printed hoodies and some graphic tees. There's also tracksuits, which I don't really like. But then you also have some really unique and cool designs. For example, these ripstop sets, which is like a ripstop windbreaker and a ripstop barrel pants, I think. I think there are actually 4 colorways of them, and to be honest, each colorway slaps. And then they also have these 2 really cool vests, which is this raw indigo vest and also the Nara twill vest, how they call it. And to be honest, the Nara twill vest is one of my grails recently. Only 150 euros, which is super fair price for what you get, I think. I'm so broke that this is my grail at the moment. But yeah, I really like it, and you also have matching pants. I can't even describe the technique 100%, but it's like a mix of the wash as well as some looks like sashiko stitching, maybe also some distressing. I'm not too sure, but it looks super dope. And it's not like one uniform pattern, but like different patterns in one piece. So yeah, I would actually give this one a 10 out of 10. I like that it's a vest and not a denim jacket. Would also be cool as a denim jacket, let's be honest, but yeah. I also like vests, so overall I really like this brand. I think it's an Italian streetwear brand actually, forgot to mention that. Alright, next up we have Badson or Badson.us, which is an American brand, and oh boy, they do not miss. Let's be honest, they do not miss. A lot of you might already know this brand, it's actually quite big. So definitely not an unknown brand anymore, but I think not everybody can relate with their style too well, so that's why it's not like mainstream. They went pretty viral before with this cherry blossom denim set. I think it only started with the denim pants and then they added the jacket later. You got this really nice silhouette, and obviously the cherry blossom embroidery is super dope, and it's more a piece of art than clothing almost. And this piece then also turned into somewhat of a signature style for them, and now we have a bunch of different colorways, if you do want to call it that. We have like, I think, wildflowers, there's this mossy overgrown one, we got an autumn one with like red leaves, and basically we have a bunch of different colorways with also a bunch of different plants or flowers or leaves. So yeah, really cool line. There's obviously not everything the brand has to offer. There's a really cool aesthetic, like for example their starfruit heavy padded jacket, I think it's called, which has a really nice design. And yeah, I think that their jackets in general are really dope. They have these heavy bomber jackets. They're almost kind of overly massive, so it gives this really crazy unique silhouette, but you can definitely wear it on a day-to-day basis. But as I said before, it's an American brand, which is the biggest downside of the brand. Not because I don't like America, but because the import taxes and the shipping is really expensive. Other than that, I think the brand is doing great work and is one of my favorite brands. I don't have a piece myself, but I really want one. Maybe if Trump stops tweaking, I don't know. Next up on the list we have Systemic, which is a German brand. They started out as like your average streetwear brand, I must say. I wasn't really interested in their stuff, but then they had a huge and heavy rebranding. But I think it aligns with the team and the designer perfectly, because in the pieces they release now you can really see like the passion for fashion. Nice one. And the creativity and the art. So yeah, in Germany, definitely the most legendary comeback of a brand. And they have some absolute banger pieces. They have a lot of stuff actually. They got some track jackets, which are really nice. They have a few different designs. They also made these double barrel pants, which are really popular, and you have a bunch of colorways. They obviously have some t-shirts, some button-ups, some over jackets, as well as long sleeves and tank tops. There's really a bunch of stuff. But they also have crazy accessories like belts, scarves, and jewelry in general. And also this beautiful, absolutely beautiful bag right here. I really want this bag, but yeah, I'm too broke for this shit. One day maybe. One of my favorite pieces is actually the Defender jacket. I think it's such a beautiful piece. It looks quite simple and quite basic, but with the front paneling, You really have a lot of ways of styling it and a lot of creative freedom as a stylist. I think that's always a beautiful thing. And then we also have these insane belts, which is this green fuzzy pony hair, whatever. It looks absolutely crazy. I really want this one. And also a clean white one, but we have this really beautiful ornament closure. And from what I've heard, their quality is also pretty nice. Let's move on. Alright, moving on, we have Davrilsupply, and this is a really interesting brand because it completely started from the ground up as a TikTok brand actually, and I have followed their stuff for a really long time. They had these, I think, leather jackets as well as these fleeces, which were really popular back in the days. But then there was, I think, kind of a long break, or at least I didn't hear from them at all. Then recently I discovered them again, and I must say the brand owner, I don't really know about the brand structure, if he has like a huge team or not, but from what I see, it's a solo brand owner that obviously hires people for photo shoots and stuff. But I think the whole creative process is this one guy, which I assume is called Davril, I don't know. That's what the brand name suggests me. Yeah, I really like this guy's design style, and yeah, I really like this guy's vision for creating pieces, or like for looking at different pieces the other way. He's not doing any really crazy shit. They are like hoodies, zip hoodies, jackets. The base piece is not really crazy, but I think he then looks at it in a kind of different way and comes up with some crazy ideas. And I don't quite know how to describe it. It's not super crazy maximalist design, but it's just like, damn, how do you even come up with this? It's so cool. Alright, my camera did overheat right there. Where was I at? Oh yes, I think the perfect example for what I'm trying to say is this zip hoodie right here, and specifically the distressing, because, well, you've seen distressing a lot in today's streetwear. It's in almost every piece, to be honest, and most of the time it's done completely random to suggest or like to simulate this year-long distressing after wearing the piece over and over again. But in this case, the distressing was done systematically, like the same distressing all over again in this pattern. I think it's such a cool idea because he takes something which is rough and random and kind of brings order to it, but it's still rough at the same time. So he puts this technique in a new context. And I really like this about him, his design language and all of the pieces. And the same piece also has another element, which is this logo embroidery. Again, he's taking something you have seen before, paneling across the front like this, but he's putting it in a new context, which is not using a seam, not using a top stitch, but instead just placing his logo all over again. And I think this piece, for me personally, really is the core of his design language, and I like it a lot. But obviously we do have a bunch more really nice pieces, for example these leather jackets or this denim jacket right here, but also a large selection of pants that again stand out because of little details. We also have this button up right here, which is made in collaboration with an artist, and I really like this. But what I also really like about Davril is the logo. It's the perfect example of a clean, nice logo that you could easily put on knit sweaters like he does, but it's also the perfect base for nice necklaces, rings and belts, and he executes that pretty well. And I'm really excited to see what this brand will continue doing, so definitely a brand you should check out. Alright, moving on, we have the last fashion brand, or like pure clothing brand for now, which would be PushPush. I have to say it's more of a feminine brand, or more like a brand for females, because they have a lot of like tube tops, crop tops, all these different tops, and I actually like those a lot. They execute them really well. It's nothing I would personally wear, of course, but then they also have these really nice pants. I think the pinstripe PushPush pants has gone really viral. My girlfriend has them as well, and I really like the fit of those. It's super baggy, but it's not like your regular baggy. It's more like of a flared baggy look, and it's just a special fit that you don't see too often in modern streetwear. At the same time, that's basically all there is to this brand. They have a bunch of different colorways. They have these khakis, which I'm pretty sure have the same fit. And then they also have these matching overshirts or button-ups matching to the pinstripe pants. But yeah, basically most of their pieces are more leading towards the female side. Then you also have these few really nice pants and these few button-ups that I really like. And overall, I just like the aesthetic and the visual brand identity of the brand. So yeah, definitely check out their Instagram. Alright, next up is a footwear brand, to be precise, mainly a loafer brand, and the brand I'm talking about is Duke+Dexter, and they mainly have these really nice and artistic penny loafers. They do have some basic models as well, so if you're looking for a basic loafer, you can definitely find one there. But as I said, then they also have these really artistic ones. I myself do have these Kiss ones, as you can see, but there are also these really nice snake ones that are like, you got more like the freaky designs with this kind of playboy aesthetic. And now of course there are also different textures. I think you have like cow skin, leopard skin, this rattan design, as well as these denim style loafers. So definitely a broad and really unique collection. And as I said, I have one pair and they are comfortable as fuck, so would definitely recommend you get one. They're pretty expensive, but I think it's fair for what you get. All in all, a really cool brand. And recently they also released these really cool derbies, which I really like. And last but not least, they also have this small little clothing line collection where there are definitely some cool pieces, but to me it's more of like merchandise. Kind of gives me this merchandise vibe. But yeah, overall just a cool brand. Moving on to the jewelry brand, we have a brand called Kuurth, or I don't even know how you say it in English, maybe Kuurth, but that sounds kind of weird. It's this brand and they make this super artistic, super detailed jewelry, and to be honest with you, 80% of what they have is stuff that I personally wouldn't wear, because their style heavily leans into the gothic or like medieval kind of aesthetic, and that's not really my vibe. I mean, if that's your style, this is your brand. But then again, this, let's say 20% chunk of jewelry they have is the perfect sweet spot between this artistic gothic vibe but also this clean jewelry streetwear vibe that I really with. So yeah, there are some pieces that really hit the sweet spot for me personally, and we can go over them real quick. I made some screenshots on my phone. First of all, we have the ecstasy and the crucifix bracelets, two really nice, super cool bracelets. What I also like is the vestige ring and the sakura necklace, and we also have the Nyx and the lunaris necklace. I'm not sure which one of those I like more. I think both are super cool. And we also have the shizuku necklace, the shirotama necklace, as well as the yozakura necklace. And if you couldn't tell by the name, these were released in an exclusive Japan inspired job, which I really f with, as you might already know. There are a bunch more really nice designs, so definitely check out Kuurth. What I also really like about this brand, which is somewhat of a criteria I have for jewelry, is that their jewelry is made out of 925 sterling silver, I think, instead of steel. They do have some steel options, but me personally, I wouldn't really recommend it to you. And then they of course also have a lot of gold jewelry, which is not solid gold, but it's sterling silver, which is 18 karat gold plated. So they have really nice quality. That's what I'm trying to say. And I would definitely recommend this brand to you. To finish this list, we have another jewelry brand, but it's kind of the polar opposite kind of Kuurth, and it's called Warpedsense. And what they offer is this really minimalistic and let's say basic jewelry, but not basic in a bad way. I think they do it really nice, and some of my favorites are the prism necklace, the stargazing pearl necklace, as well as their liquid ring, and they're of course also made out of sterling silver, which for me, as I said, is a criteria. And that's why I think Warpedsense is a really nice brand to get some clean, minimalistic silver basics. Definitely would recommend as well. Alright guys, I think that's it for today's video. These are some of my favorite brands at the moment. Definitely make sure to check out some of them if you're interested, of course. But yeah, would mean a lot if you subscribe right now and help me grow this channel a little. And I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.